We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the Private Sector Advisory Council convened to discuss ways on how to further improve the tourism sector in the country. The group was recently established to regularly provide insights on what is happening on the ground and make policy recommendations. It was headed by the President and Chief Executive Officer of Aboitiz Equity Ventures, Sabin Aboitiz. In his first State of the Nation address, Marcos promised to push for the construction of more international airports and road improvements to attract more visitors and fast-track tourism's recovery. The tourism sector greatly contributes to the country's economic development and helps generate jobs. The recent Philippine Statistics Authority showed that in 2021, the tourism industry employed at least 4.9 million individuals, higher than the 4.7 million registered in the year 2020. The Philippines continues to deepen its relationships with other countries as President Bongbong Marcos received leaders from Sri Lanka, Saudi Arabia, and the island state of Niue in successive meetings in Malacanang. More on this from Marita Muahi.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Thursday received Saudi Arabia Minister of Foreign Affairs Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud in a courtesy call at the Malacanang Palace. During the call, the bilateral relations between the Philippines and Saudi Arabia were reviewed, including joint cooperations in various fields. The Saudi Foreign Minister also conveyed greetings of King Salman bin Abdulaziz and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Marcos, wishing for his continued success. Last May 2022, the Philippines, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain discussed migration policy and migrant work innovations on the sidelines of the International Migration Review Forum. Saudi Arabia is home to approximately 860,000 Filipino workers, the largest number in the Middle East. Earlier, Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe paid a courtesy call on Marcos in Malacanang. The two leaders discussed the holdings of this year's ASEAN Summit and related summits and the possible creation of a monitoring and regulatory body in charge of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. The 40th and 41st ASEAN Summit and related summits will be held November. Meanwhile, the island state of Niue was added to the Philippines' long list of foreign partners this week. Marcos and Niue Prime Minister Dalton Emani Makamao Tagelagi signed a joint communique on September 28, formally establishing diplomatic relations between the two countries. The Department of Foreign Affairs said the Philippines and Niue can explore ways to increase cooperation in trade and investment, including agriculture and fisheries. It also sees potential cooperation in medical care and tourism, addressing climate change, and promoting a rules-based maritime regime. For the Pna Newsroom, I am Marita Muahi.
In other news, Taal Volcano is showing signs of increased emissions of sulfur dioxide since Thursday evening. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said Taal's main crater spewed at least 10,000 tons of volcanic sulfur dioxide per day that developed into a volcanic smog or VOG at the Taal caldera. The released volcanic gas will be blown into the air towards the west. Individuals who would be suffering from asthma, lung disease, and heart ailments, as well as the elderly, pregnant women, and children in the area are advised to wear protective gear and avoid outdoor activities. Acid rain can also destroy crops and affect the metallic parts of houses and buildings. Taal Volcano remains under alert level 1. Those going out later today may need to prepare their umbrellas as rainy weather is expected later this afternoon. Metro Manila and the rest of the country can expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms for the rest of the day. Pag-asa said this is caused by the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ that will be affecting southern Mindanao. The country may also experience severe thunderstorms that can lead to possible flash floods or landslides. Meanwhile, the wind speed forecast for the whole country is slight to moderate, moving east to southeast, while coastal waters will be slight to moderate. The Philippine News Agency under the News and Information Bureau, or NIB, was invited to participate in the first edition of the Global Media Congress in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, to be held in November. NIB Assistant Director Lian Patugalan said the Media Congress would bring in media practitioners from all over the world and allow them to share knowledge and experiences. She emphasized the need for media practitioners to become abreast of the latest updates in the industry. Patugalan thanked the UAE and Emirates News Agency for allowing the PNA to be part of this event. The Memorandum of Understanding between the PNA and the WAM was signed in February 2019. It will serve as a platform for reviewing the state of mass media in the region and the world. It will also include a media exhibit and conference that will enable various media organizations to discuss partnership and cooperation agreements. And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Office of the Press Secretary and Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change.